Bob Schroer is a longtime Walnut Creek resident. He served the city as a volunteer firefighter, city council member for 16 years, county supervisor for 16 years, and has been mayor of Walnut Creek 3 times. In 1933, his father Ted Schroder started Schroder Insurance. Housed in the former Walnut Creek post office, Bob and his son Rob have operated their family business for more than 70 years on Main Street. With his wife Fran, he raised a family in Walnut Creek and has been part of the fabric of central Contra Costa County. Here are some stories and reflections of Bob's time in Walnut Creek.
Yes, I have a story about a fellow by the name of Pat Brown. Pat Brown, well, I guess was Jerry Brown's father, of course, and was the governor of the state of California. And he was visiting Walnut Creek on a campaign tour. He was running for governor at the particular time. And I'll never forget, he was standing on the stairs of the Las Palmas Hotel on Main Street, talking to the crowd. And he would start to talk, and these heavy dump trucks carrying gravel from the Pleasanton area to north and would come by and go through, stop at the corner of Mount Diablo and Main, go through their gears, and the horrible sound would come up from the gears and the exhaust, and the governor would stop and wait for the truck to go by, and then he would start to talk again. Another truck would come by. He had to stop and wait till the truck went by, and he started to talk again. And then another truck would come by, because they were kind of in tandem. And when that truck went by, he said, "I won't say any more, other than when I'm elected governor, I'll get these damn trucks off of Main Street." My wife and I lived above what we know the freeway today, on a street called Oakville Road. And I came home from work one day, and I saw the city engineering department cutting down trees along Oakville Road. And because they needed to be cut down, they said, because of drainage and because it was a steep hill. And I was infuriated that the city would be so destructive in cutting down the natural trees along the street. And my wife and I sat down and we decided that, hey, we're going to be involved politically in the community, so we have a say in how things are going to take place and how things are going to develop. And that's when I decided to run for the city council. However, prior to that, I was on the Park and Recreation Commission and I was on the Planning Commission, but they didn't have any teeth. They just were advisory. And I said, we want to have an opportunity to have the final say. And that's how I got involved with the city council, and I was there for some 16 years and served as mayor, as Rob is serving mayor of Martinez now. And I decided that 16 years is long enough in a political office, and I decided to run for the Board of Supervisors. And I did, and I won, and I was there for 16 years. So I had some 30 some odd years in political life. And after 16 years on the Board of Supervisors, I said I'm going to hang it up and let other people come. And I've done all I can do. So that's how I became involved in the government. Gerald Ford visited Walnut Creek, and I was mayor at the time, and I had the opportunity to introduce the President of the United States to the people that were part of the audience to hear what Gerald had to say. So I was quite pleased to have the opportunity to introduce the President. And he was a nice guy. He really plain down-to-earth fella. It was a hot day down in the Broadway Shopping Center, and we were on a dais there, and the poor fella had a bulletproof vest on, and he was just, he had a white shirt. He didn't have a coat, but he had a bulletproof vest under his shirt, and he was just sweltering in the heat. And he was laughing about it, however. And he was a very congenial man, and it was a pleasure to meet him. Well, I like to say Walnut Creek just didn't happen. It was purposefully done, and I'll explain that. There was much pressure from business people to develop the Danville Highway, out the Danville Highway with strip commercial zoning. There was much pressure on Ignatia Valley Road to have strip zoning on that area. In other words, we've seen it down the peninsula, El Camino Real and such, that type of thing. And I said, that's not going to happen in Walnut Creek. And the City Council made a policy that if you were going to develop any business in Walnut Creek, it was going to be downtown. It's not going to be out in the residential areas. And I remember, and I tell this story, that when the Sun Valley people that eventually developed in Concord came to Walnut Creek, and they wanted to, they proposed to build the Sun Valley Shopping Center in Ignatia Valley, where the Shadelands Ranch is, where it was. And they showed us the income that could be produced, the jobs that could be produced, the sales tax that would come to the city if they developed within the city limits of Walnut Creek. And we turned them down. And it was a very difficult decision because of the funding that would come to the city. And I think that was one of the wisest decisions that we've ever made. And we saw what happened to Concord when Sun Valley was developed where it is. Downtown Concord just shriveled. It just went to, it's come back now, and it's lovely down there now. But for many, many years, they had a tremendous time, difficult time in Concord. So I think we made a right decision of saying, you build commercially, you do it downtown, and that's what's created the commercial area that we know today, and it's not spread out into the residential areas. But you know, Walnut Creek, many, many years ago, when I was growing up, was a wonderful, wonderful community. It was a lot of fun. People had a sense of community. The whole area, whether it was the business people, whether it was the residential areas, the political community, all worked together for the development of the community and to make it what they wanted it to be. And I was very proud over the years to be part of that. Walnut Creek has changed so dramatically since that particular time. And I don't criticize the way Walnut Creek has developed. I think they've done the powers to be today, I think, have done a wonderful job for the community. But it's changed so dramatically that it's somewhat difficult for me when I think about growing up in this small rural community of Walnut Creek, and I kind of miss it.